Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. I just got back from basic training 4 days ago and well, what an experience. So I'm just going to talk about that really. I'm just going to speak about my experience, like how I found it, things that happened to me along the way and why my time there got a bit prolonged and just how I'm feeling about the whole situation really. So yeah, stay tuned. So I was at the Army Training Centre in Pirbright it was supposed to be a 14-week training, but I got an anterior knee injury on one of the PT sessions, which was absolutely devastating, and I did try to carry on, like I tried really hard to just carry on, but it was really painful and it got to the point where walking was even painful. So I ended up going to med centre, all of that, having physio, and I actually got back trooped, so I had to leave my first troop and go into a new troop, which was a very challenging transition for me, especially leaving all of the really good friends that I'd made. I found that really hard, but yeah, it was an interesting season. So I had to do an extra 4 weeks, so I had to go back I was on week 13 I believe, and I had to go back to week 10, which I'd already done, so it was quite a bit of a drag having to do things again that I'd already done. But yeah, I had a lot of support on the way and I got through it, and it wasn't too bad. After the first week or so, I kind of just settled into my new troop, who were all really nice to me and really accepting. So in the end it was fine. It was worth the whole experience in the end, to meet new people, and I got to be there for a bit longer, which in some ways was bad obviously, but in other ways I'm kind of glad that I got to stay for a bit longer and get a bit of extra training in a way, so I feel like I'm more familiar with the things that I need to know, if that makes sense. So now I'm just going to go over some questions that people would ask me via my Instagram pages, because I thought that would be useful to some people if they had some questions. So someone asked, is it an intimidating environment? And I would say sometimes yes. I found some of the training staff a little bit intimidating. Mostly they were very nice and very helpful, and they were only like that because they were trying to help you be your better self and improve, and obviously they have to be strict with you, but sometimes it does feel a bit much and it can be a little bit intimidating. But I feel like you just have to let that go over your head and not take it too personal, because obviously it's not a personal thing. They're there to train you and they've got no time to waste in a sense, so they're just trying to get it done, get you in that right frame of mind, get you organised and having that sense of urgency and getting things done quickly and on time, just things like that. So I'd say that it makes sense to be like that in a way. But yeah, just don't take things to heart that they say to you. They're gonna shout and swear at you or whatever. But yeah, it's difficult sometimes, but just don't take it to heart and just take that space out, take some alone time that you need, and just let it go over your head, honestly. And someone asked, was everyone supportive? So I don't know who they mean by this, but I'm taking it as my family and friends, and yeah, they were very supportive. So yeah, they were a bit shocked at first, some of them, and I didn't think I was honest and being real about joining the army, but once they knew the reasons behind it and that I really wanted to do it, yeah, they were very supportive. And while I was in there, they were really supportive as well, always encouraging me and giving me advice. And also in the area of support, there's also a welfare team at Pirbright, and there's padres, which are ministers in the church, which are actually really good to go to talk to, just to have a chat and feel a little bit normal. If you you can go and have a chat and a cup of tea, which is really chilled out, and just get a bit of normality. And also they can give you a lot of help if you've got if you've got family problems, if you've got problems at home, or if you're just struggling in yourself with training. They're really great to give you advice and things like that, so I'd really recommend going to the Padres. So someone asked, if you could change anything about your fitness preparation, what would it be? So I would definitely get much more fit than I was. I personally did think I was quite fit before I started. I was going to the gym most days and running and swimming and cycling, but I would say do more running, do more just improve your cardio any way you can, to be honest. Do more endurance work, and maybe do more sprinting, hill sprints, and definitely practice running, walking with weight, because you do a lot of that, and I found that the hardest thing out of everything, tabbing. So yeah, I did practice it a little bit, but I'd say do that more beforehand if you can. One thing I would do differently, again, I would say improve my cardio a lot more. I just felt like I didn't have the lung capacity a lot of the time, especially when it came to like the longer distance running and just like running everywhere in general with the weight on. I found that quite hard, and I was ill for quite a lot of it as well. I had like a flu-y thing, not COVID, but yeah, so that didn't help obviously, but I had to just carry on with that, so I felt like I was getting a bit behind with that. But yeah, I would do more cardio and improve my running with weights also. The worst part for me was probably the tabbing, the running and walking with the weight, because you have like your Bergen with all the weight in and carrying your rifle as well, and you do that quite a lot, and you've got to go up hills and things like that, and I used to panic quite a lot with my breathing, so I found that quite hard. So that was one of the worst parts. And also I'd say going on exercise when it was raining and cold, like that's when you're basically sleeping outside in the forest with like just a sleeping bag and a poncho over you. So yeah, I didn't really enjoy that part too much. Like some of it was fun, but yeah, in general I didn't really enjoy that, and I found it quite hard to stay in a good frame of mind. So yeah, the best part for me, I quite enjoyed the adventure training where you go for a week in Wales, where you do canoeing, rock climbing, and you're supposed to be doing caving, but we couldn't do that because of COVID, but we did like hill walking. It was quite hard and quite physical, but I did enjoy it. It was good to get out and do something different. And also the best part for me was like meeting new people, and I just made some really good friends, and that was just really good for me. I really enjoyed hanging out with my friends like in the little free time that we did get. So yeah, that was good. So another question, do you know how many people you can have at your pass off parade? So I was allowed 5 at mine. I don't know if that's because we only had 2 troops passing off together, but I think it's between 2 and 5 depending on how much space they have. Should be 5. What made me get closer to God during my time there? So obviously I found it quite difficult not having that quiet alone time that I would have at home. I have a lot of prayer time and worship time because I have a very strong faith obviously, so I found it hard to not have that. So yeah, all the hard times definitely made me want to press more into my faith and like get closer to God. And yeah, especially being in quite a not a hostile environment, but it was more aggressive than what I'm used to, with like obviously a lot of swearing and like not the kind of talk that I'd be used to in a more Christian environment. So that made me want to press in and get closer to God and have more of my quiet time, if you like, if that makes sense. And what is good is on base they do have a Catholic church which is open 24 hours a day, so when you're done for the day, when you're not busy obviously, you can go in there for private prayer any time of the day. So some evenings I would do that, and there's also a piano in there, so obviously I play the piano so I could do a bit of my private worship and prayer in that time. So that was really helpful for me like as a Christian. So if that's something you're worried about going in as a Christian, I'd really recommend like using those facilities. Obviously I'm the Padres, which is like really good to strengthen your faith if you're feeling a bit lost or a bit low sometimes. Someone asked, have you got any tips or hacks for battle camp and any gadgets that might help that are not on the checklist? So yeah, battle camp is quite difficult in itself, so anything you can do that you think is going to make it easier for you, I'd really recommend doing. Obviously you have to pack all the things on the packing list. Maybe you can take a few things out that you really aren't going to use. Like I think I took like the desert neck scarf out, or like things like that were quite, and the towel, I think things that were bulky and taking up a lot of space that I knew I wasn't going to use because I didn't really use a towel on battle camp, for example. So yeah, I'd take that out and I would replace it with excessive amounts of chocolates and snacks because I'm being honest, like that is what you need. Like just take whatever food, like sweets, chocolate, whatever snacks you really like, just make sure you take them with you because you'll be grateful that you did, because it's just, you get low on energy, you get a lack of sleep, and you just need a bit of morale boost and a bit of energy. I think I took those isotonic energy gel packets with me, and that helped me with like the patrolling and stuff when I was tired, or if we'd been running around and we'd have to keep going for the rest of the day. that would really help me, like just having that sugar or like caffeine boost. Like take coffee and tea with you, just hot beverages, have hot drinks, like things that will just give you that boost to keep you going really. And if you're going to go on exercise in winter, I'd really recommend getting waterproof gloves. I got sealskin gloves. I think they were like £52 off Amazon, and I know it's quite a lot to pay for gloves, but it was really worth it because it rained quite a lot while I was there, and these like were really warm and like kept my hands dry. So if you're like walking around and you're getting wet hands and cold and you can't really feel your rifle or whatever, it's not a good place to be in. So yeah, I'd recommend that. And also hand warmers as well. You can get hand warmers, put them in your gloves, your socks, whatever. Just yeah, keep them in your pockets. Yeah, they just really help because when you're cold, especially on stag at night, when you're sitting in the rain or whatever, you'll really be grateful for it. Are you allowed lash and hair extensions? What a question. Well, I think you're allowed them, but I would recommend not to have them because the upkeep is just like not really worth it, and you just want things to be easy. Like I didn't wear any makeup or lashes or hair extensions or anything personally when I was there, like even though I wanted to at some point because I didn't feel very girly. Like one thing I did do is I did keep doing my fake tan because that just made me feel better about myself, because that's something I normally do. So yeah, I'd probably use a bit of concealer sometimes if I looked really tired. I'd do my fake tan. That's about it really. I didn't really do anything with my hair because I had it like in a bun, or like you are allowed a ponytail or a plait now though if you're a girl, so that makes it a lot easier unless you're on parade or like using a weapon, which you have to have a bun or a plait. But yeah, I'd just say I wouldn't recommend having any extensions because it's not really convenient. What do you do on a day off? We didn't get that many days off, to be honest. Like we'd get some weekends off. There's a Starbucks on camp. I'd go to Starbucks with my friends. There's a shop. Yeah, I'd go to the shop. You can go for a run on the track after week 7, I think it is. There's like pull-up bars that you can use at like an outdoor gym thing. You can do that. Other than that, I'd be sleeping because I was just so tired, honestly. I'd be like watching Netflix, sleeping all day at the weekends because I just needed to catch up on sleep. Yeah, that's about it. This is a really good one. What is exercise like, and how is it from a girl point of view, i.e. periods? So yeah, that's a good question. Thank you for that. So on exercise, it is what it is really. Like if you get your period on exercise, it is going to be inconvenient, but yeah, you're gonna have to just change your tampon in a bush or whatever. Like that's just how it is. Sometimes you don't have a lot of time to do it either, so it is inconvenient. One thing I would recommend is getting a menstrual cup, because I thought it was weird at first, but it is really good because you can obviously leave those in for longer, and there's like no leaks, it's leak proof. So if you're doing PT and you're not going to have time to change your tampon or whatever, or you're on exercise and you're going to be out and about all day, I'd recommend getting one of those, because you sometimes don't really have time to change it and things like that. But yeah, it is a bit difficult, but you're going to have to be a bit dirty in that for a bit, because you obviously can't shower and exercise. Yeah, but other than that, it's alright because everyone's in the same situation. You just kind of get on with it, but you don't really think about things like that because you've got a lot else to focus on. What was PT like? So PT was different than I expected, to be fair. I thought it'd be a lot more gym work and like upper body, but because I trained my upper body quite a lot before I went, but it actually wasn't a lot of gym based workouts. It was mostly running or like tabbing really. There was a lot of like circuit work, like doing burpees, press ups, things like that. Like exercise for your hips, they're really good because that helps with tabbing. But yeah, we did a lot of tabbing, and it's more legs that you need to focus on than upper body, even though upper body strength will help you obviously with like general strength to carry stuff and things like that. I'd say focus more on your legs before you come, because we do a lot of like legs in PT and just a lot of cardio, to be honest. So yeah, I'd focus more on that. And one piece of advice I'd also give is like be prepared to like move around a lot and have to like leave friends and make new friends, because you might make really good friends and have to be cut off from them, which can be really hard. So like just be prepared for that, and be prepared to be able to like mingle with new people quite a lot, and like, yeah, just talk to new people. So that's something you'll be doing quite a lot. But I quite liked that, to be fair. It was good to meet a lot of new people. Yeah, I really enjoyed that. And yeah, I'm glad that I did it. I did find it hard. Like, I think it's a lot harder for females, as you have to carry the same weight as the males. Like, you have to put more work in. I would say, like, it is possible to still do it, but just like make sure you put in that work in, otherwise it can be like very difficult and you can get a bit behind, I think, because on the tabs especially you have to stay together as a troop. So yeah, just make sure you put in that work in beforehand and pushing yourself. And yeah, oh, don't worry about it, like they'll help you get where you need to be and it will be fine in the end. So for me now, I have just finished phase 1 training, so I'm currently on a break, so I've got like a week leave as far as I know. I don't know how long I've got yet because I've not found out like all the details, but yeah, and I'll be moving on to phase 2 training soon to start my trade. And yeah, so I'll be able to get back into my fitness, which I'm really looking forward to, because it's been a while since I've been able to go to the gym and things like that and do things that I enjoy. So yeah, I'm super excited for that. Yeah, so thank you for watching, and I'll probably be making more update videos, advice videos, stuff like that soon, so drop in the comments if you have any questions or any other videos that you'd like to see. And yeah, it's great to be back. Thanks for watching.